Morning, fellow skeptics. Lester the Skeptic Tank here. Just a little bit of an update for you guys. I know a lot has been happening since the last video. So, what's happened? Or what's new? Just a couple of things. I'm going to highlight some things I've received or what I haven't received. So, right away, I ordered Robocop on 4K. Still waiting for that. Apparently, it's been delivered. I'll probably call the post office to do a trace or something on the tracking number. I think they're 2 for 2, if I remember my count. But here goes nothing. I'll probably give them a call later today. Say, hey, what's the deal? Got word that it was delivered, but my mailbox is empty. I was surprised it was going to come in sooner than expected. So I don't know. Things happen. Um, so there's that. But I have something here. This came in. This was a replacement. I think I mentioned in the previous video where the representative said, "Oh, we'll just ship a replacement out." Cool. So there's that as well. That came in, and it was easy peasy. Especially, I think I gave him the sob story of I ordered this. I believe the day after Thanksgiving or right before or the day after Thanksgiving or something to the effect that I was on Prime and I said, "Hey, what's the cost of a possible portable drive that I can use externally? I just needed to archive the stuff I have on my RAID 1. It's very simple, just not even a terabyte's worth of data. I just need it so I can store my music and some of the Blu-rays or DVDs I have in my collection. And I just figured I need something so I can offload that. You never know. So I'm thankful this is a Samsung branded, and thankfully, as I read the box, made in Korea. So there's that. And had nothing but good things with the Samsung products, to say the least. You know, everyone knew their displays, but ever since they expanded their brand into other computing parts, pretty solid. I think all my laser printers have been Samsung. Although I believe there might have been something where if I if I recall where I've gotten my drivers, I believe the history is right now Samsung sold a part of their printing division to HP. So there's that. But I'm excited. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't even started offloading my collection onto this backup. And then maybe I'll pick up another one. I'll probably put some labels on each of them. Say the first one, next one. So there's that. And let me go ahead and get something else here. All right. Hopefully I can get this presented right before I gotta start work. And not bad. I got about 25 minutes. So anyway, I picked these up over the last couple weeks, maybe week and a half, possibly. So I don't know. You know, if there is a dearth of entertainment, now I have to get this out of the way before I present what I've picked up over at the local Value Village. Uh, I went and saw Godzilla -1 on Screen X. I'm not the. I knew of Godzilla through the cartoons, but I didn't grow up a Godzilla fan. And to be honest, I wasn't much of a Jurassic Park fan either, except for maybe the first one. I don't know. When it came out, I believe I was 12 if my dating is right. I think it came out in '93, but I didn't grow up the biggest Jurassic Park fan. I didn't grow up the biggest Godzilla fan. I did know of the cartoon. I watched some of the episodes of the cartoon. So, um, but with the good word of mouth presented by various pundits on YouTube and elsewhere, I'm like, okay. And I had a weird slip one weekend. I think it was last year, or earlier this year. They were going to show Jurassic Park, the OG, in my local theater house, and I bought tickets. I bought a ticket for it. I took a nap that Sunday, and for whatever reason, I had this thing in my mind where it's going to show at this time. Oops! Little I know, as I walked into the auditorium to watch the movie, I'm like, I don't remember this introduction. It doesn't remind me of Jurassic Park. I don't even hear the theme music. And apparently, the dude at the theater counter is like, "Yeah, you're good." Oh, but when I saw the movie unveil itself, it turned out to be. I walked into Godzilla versus Kong. Not a terrible movie, not a great movie either. Although I could do without the what you might call the sympathies towards King Kong. I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like I didn't know what to feel. It was okay. Um, so going into Godzilla minus one, I was just thinking, all right, let's see what this is like. But I came away with the idea this is a good movie. This is solid. Had a story, not just the carnage of Godzilla versus Japan, and the themes are plenty. I mean, it does take a peek at Japanese culture at the time, especially post World War II. So that was great. Um, had a real story, had a real hero's journey, and that's a common term thrown around these days in terms of a lot of critique with much of the entertainment nowadays. Um, I'll say more on that probably in another video. So my only the only thing I would say about my experience watching the movie is this is the second movie I watched using Screen X. And I can tell there's a difference based on pricing alone between Screen X and what's been around IMAX. So I will look to watch probably tonight because I don't think I have a church service. Like my Wednesday is open, so I'll probably pick up an IMAX showing for Godzilla minus one. And thankfully, they're still showing it. I had originally planned to watch it Sunday. Nah, there are times when, especially when football's on during Sundays during the season, that's kind of what I do post church, and I've gotten to the point where I don't need to watch all the games live. That's one of the reasons why I do subscribe to NFL Plus, and I got the year plan. Get it out of the way. Um, I don't have to watch them right there, right now. I have a VPN, which enables me to, uh, if I have to. There was some MacGuffin I had with the website for NFL.com and the NFL Plus function, which enables me to listen to games through the internet radio infrastructure. And it's great because I can choose which broadcast I want. Particularly when it comes to Monday Night Football, I like the Westwood one with Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner. Kevin Harlan is just, yeah, he's got that voice, and he can make any sporting event engaging, and it doesn't even matter what's happening during the game. It could be something in the game or something outside of the game. There was one clip played over the radio where he's just doing a play-by-play about a security guard taking on a streaker or even a cat running around the football field. So anyway, so there's that. So I was, especially when the weather on Sunday, it wasn't exactly the greatest weather. I just wanted to stay indoors. Um, so there's that. I did see Die Hard was available as what Regal terms reissue. I find that rather interesting, especially if the strike had continued, what the theaters were going to do. So I don't know how that arrangement works out between theater houses, the studio, whoever, distributors, who makes that decision. And I'm thankful they have that in place. So if there was a dearth of entertainment because of the strikes, I wonder what would prevent a theater from whatever they have available in their inventory of films. They could have done a reissue of this or that. Especially with the theater house, which is only like a hop skip from where I live. They had traditionally shown a lot of classic films already, so they have whatever they have in their collection. So, yeah. Without further ado, because I know my time is limited, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I just wanted to give a rundown of what I picked up at the local, trying to get used to saying charity shop because it's it's more fitting in that a lot of people, myself included, have taken a lot of my excess and have given it to shops like these. And yes, what one's junk is another's treasure. That's how I look at it. But that's at the out of the charity of one's heart because you often, whenever you decide to give stuff to a place like a charity shop or thrift store, you are definitely taking it at a loss. You're not expecting anything in return except for maybe a make good like a discount coupon code or a coupon slip. Save 20% on your next purchase, that kind of thing. Uh, I mean, that can help, especially when you start adding things up because, everybody's dollar valuation for whatever's given, depending on the condition, especially, that will determine the price, what the price ends up being. And especially if you go to a value village, which has these cyclical half off based on the pricing, the the price tags. Okay, depending on the color of the price tag. So if it's blue that day, anything with a blue tag, 50% off. So that's cool. So before I get carried away, I I don't know if this is gonna be a popcorn movie, but anyone who might have seen this, feel free to leave a comment. Say, hey, beware, or yeah, you might like it. Who knows? All right. I will see this in its entirety. I've seen snippets thanks to uh, cable channels, I think. Uh, and one of the things I've got to do a better job of whenever I make a purchase at a charity shop, if I can get it out of the sleeve, there it is. I might put. I don't need the sleeve. I just need the case. Oh no! And again, this is why you check. This is why you check. Oh well. Let's see. Oh, that one fell out. Oh, got a little bit. It has a block. It has a blockbuster logo on there. Great. Let's see. Simon Pegg. Again, drop a comment if you've seen this, especially for the people I know who are across the pond. And let's see if I can even watch it. Okay, there's that. I got a disc. All right. Now for this bad boy, I've heard nothing but good things. This is a classic. Let's see if I can watch it. Yeah, it has a disc. Can I? Yeah, there you go. You can see the disc now. Great. So I know there's a Zack Snyder version of this film, and that's widely popular. I don't know what to think going into this. Well, first of all, can I even? Okay, good. Disc. So I will go ahead and check it out. Again, for anyone who's seen this, I'd like to see your commentary. Drop a comment. Let me know whether you like this one or there's a Snyder version. And this one I know for sure. Equalizer 3. This was from Prime. So I have the movie trilogy of Equalizer. I've spoken what I've spoken about one Denzel Washington. So there's that, and just a brief update. I'll probably put a link in the description about what happened to me this past Sunday. So on Sunday morning, I officially was instituted or tonsured as a reader for my parish slash diocese. So that comes with various responsibilities. I don't know about rights, but privileges maybe. I will say more on that, but basically, especially with last night's service, and the one thing that I tried to bring out when it came to my discussion about certain convictions held by church bodies when it comes to providing an experience genuinely, not artificially, not trying to get you, not to hook you in irresponsibly, but I especially hope with this, you would call a life moment, a milestone, I don't know what you want to call it, checkpoint, but having studied that role to a degree, whether that's just hands-on training that I got from my friend slash god brother, and then the lecture or presentation of what the role of reader is within the church for the services. So, in a nutshell, basically, reader is responsible for a lot of things going on within liturgical services, mainly around scripture-based stuff, and how to weave that into this to a service, especially when it comes to what happens when this feast falls on a certain day and so forth, or what happens during a regular work week, if you will. You know, right now we're in what you would call preparation for what everyone knows as Christmas. Um, Eastern Christians like to use nativity. So, just in a nutshell, uh, it was a nice discussion to be had, and I think I've come across this observation, uh, particularly when it comes to that experience, and it's interesting, and just some quick thoughts about it. Let me check my time. Let's see if I can nail these down here. I've made this, and other people I know have made this observation, especially when someone like a reader does his part, her part, because there are readers in the church. Some are not tonsured, like I was before Sunday. You know, just play the role, fulfill the role, and so in a play or in a production, everyone's got a role to play. In terms of church music and church services, you've got the choir, you've got one might call chanter, cantor, reader, and they each have a role to play. And so if you've got a celebrant, so a celebrant would be a presbyter or what is often termed priest, bishop, and so forth. And then there are other people around. So if you've heard the term deacon thrown around, so you've got that as another role to play. Then we have subdeacons, and I'll probably explain more in another video. Just drop a comment if you want me to expand on that a little bit more. But then we also have altar servers, which I also play a role. So yesterday, last night, uh, we had a Vesper service where it's mainly the celebrant, so in this case, the priest. Then we had the choir. Congregation plays a part. So everyone has a part, and this is the only production where there's no cut. It's action from the moment the priest intones the opening blessing. So I can say more on that later. So last night, the observation was, hey, thank you. You allowed us to breathe. That was from one of the choir members, and I've been given the commentary that whenever I do step in, or anybody who does step in into that role of reader, cantor, chanter, they provide the choir relief, and then I would say reflectively. The choir does the same for the reader, and in some ways, I'd like to think the combination of the two provides the congregation a breather of sorts as well, a relief. Because everybody involved that plays a much more active part, it does require some preparation and some work. It does take practice. It does take a certain degree of attention and care that you do this in a paradoxical balance of doing the job but doing it beautifully, based on something I was given years ago from my friend slash god brother. As I looked at it the night that later that night, as I understood this reality happening to me, or has happened for me, that the more important thing is erring on the side of the text takes precedence over the melody. So you can have something grandiose, but if it's not intelligible, you need to you need to balance that out. But the priority is, or the primacy is, communicating the text. But you got to communicate that text intelligibly while doing it beautifully. So that beautifying aspect in the execution, that's where the hard work comes into play. Because in the choir, and especially for those who are directing it, and you don't know who's going to show up. And often, and yes, at least for my choir, they do weekly rehearsals typically on Wednesdays. But then they also do like a half hour's rehearsal or so before the service. So it's like the general rehearsal and then the specific rehearsal for that night, for that service, and so forth. Um, and me being in my primary role of reader, I don't have to, I'm not exactly required to know all of the melodies. I'm not even required to sing. So that kind of is a liberating aspect, and especially when it comes to putting forth an experience for the congregation and would be visitors, especially, that we hope to give them the impression that if we are the conviction that we are part of this divine experience, part of this divine family, we want to make it, we want to manifest that to everybody. But at the end of the day, it's offering up our services to the Almighty God. Again, that's just the conviction. Uh, just airing it out there, and again, not making this. This isn't Christian channel per se. That's part of what I bring out, but it's not what I bring out. Again, I think I pasted a number of channels already, and I might do that. I've already pasted some channels that if that's what you're looking for, here they are. So there's that. All right. Well, work's cutting it close. Mainly want to get out there, like what has happened. You know, speaking of what I've been watching, what I hope to watch. So it'll be interesting when if I decide to watch Godzilla -1 tonight and then I watch it on IMAX. Just to thing about Screen X real quick. I don't know. Regal's got to do something with the walls, especially on the sides, because the way the Screen X works is it it projects the image on the walls. So I don't know what I need to do to make it work. And I know they give a little premise, focus on the center of the screen. I don't know. It, for now, it appears gimmicky only because when I look to the side, I see the theater construction of the actual walls. You see the lines, you see an outlet or two on the wall. Kind of distracts my viewing experience. So there's that. All right. Well, works about a minute. So thanks again for your time, fellow skeptics. Again, drop a comment. If you like what you see, hit that thumbs up. And for those who are watching, and I know a lot of the audience of my videos have not subscribed, you know, feel free if you want to get notification for all of the things I put out there. Hit that notification bell, but make sure you set it to all and not just personalized, because personalized means I gotta tag you. All right. Well, catch you on the other side, and peace out and take it easy.